right now, baby. Hey, this is Bruce Brown and Yuri from Visa Approved Group and from eFilipino Women, and we haven't done one of these in about a week because we've been on vacation, and we have lots of videos about that, and so we'll be releasing those throughout the week. But we want to answer a question from one of our subscribers, and I want to show you what we see here. And here it is right here. Let me zoom this in real quick if I can. It comes from, okay, oops, I lost my place here. Let me just scroll down. I apologize for this, but where's that question at? Where is it? There it is. Okay, actually it comes from Coleman, C.A. Coleman, and he asked actually two questions. One is, how many months do you recommend a couple know each other prior to filing K-1 visa? And his other question is, so this is what people mean by front loading the application, and he's referring to K-1, this other K-1. So we're gonna answer this first one first. And well, first of all, the requirement states, the requirement from USCIS states that to do the K-1, before you even file the I-129F petition, you have to have met at least one time in person, and it doesn't specify how long that you should have known each other prior to getting engaged. It doesn't say that. It specifically states you have to have met at least once, and it doesn't even specify how long you have to have met. It just says you have to meet one time, and then you actually gather the evidence based on that one time that you met. Now, based on what we've seen, like we talked to hundreds, name scores, like many different people from our group that have had successful relationships and not so successful relationships. And what we've seen with the unsuccessful ones is that the couple really didn't know each other very well. So now they're married and they're trying to work things out, and you know, they kind of rushed into it, and they only knew each other for maybe 6 months. They met like one time, year. Yeah, or a year or something. And I would recommend, I can't say, you know, you should have known each other for a year, or you should known each other for 2 years or anything like that. But I would highly recommend that you live with the person, if at all possible, to really get to know the pros and cons of that person. If you live with them, if you have the opportunity to live with them, that's really the best case scenario. And I can tell you from our experience, Yuri and I knew each other for 2 years prior to getting married, prior to even getting engaged. We were not just knew each other, but we were boyfriend and girlfriend for 2 years, and we broke up probably 4 times. And we talked about this in another video we just released, but we broke up like 4 times because we were trying to adjust to one another and figure out the pros and cons and things like that. And you really don't know what it's all about until you actually live with the person. We lived together for about, I don't know, a total of about a month. We lived a month, 2 months, 2 months. 1 month in Thailand, we lived together, and then 1 month in Philippines. I just had a great opportunity because I was working overseas, and I was living real close, so I lived with her twice. And then we were, based on that is what I made my decision on, based on living together, you know. Yes. And we were able to work things out, I think, based off of communication. And then after we broke up, for me, I felt so brokenhearted because I wanted to be with her. You know, I realized, wow, you know, it was really special being with her. And now I'm broke up, and you know, I really need that again in my life. And so those were things that helped me to decide.
Yes, and if you decide to like be with your fiance, then if you live together, it should not be in a hotel. It should be in an apartment or something where you will have a regular interaction, where you guys are doesn't have too many outings, where you're just in one room and then you have to interact with one another 24/7.
Because you want to see that person when they're at their worst. You want to see them when they're at their best, and you want to see them at their worst. And they want to see you when you're at your worst, so that you have some idea of what you're going to be able to put up with, you know, because everybody has a good and bad side, you know, everyone does. It's just how life is, right? So
Yeah, because when you live in a hotel, like you're, as for the woman, like we're in our comfort zone. We're not where we don't have to cook, we don't have to serve a man. We're just like
mm,
comforting ourselves and our man in like a hotel room, or if you go outside to dine out, then it's like it's not really the real living condition when you live together in one house.
I would say this. Okay, now I don't know what your situation is. I don't know, but I would say this is just my personal opinion. You should have a be boyfriend and girlfriend, not engaged, boyfriend and girlfriend for a year. I think a year is enough time. It's just my opinion. Okay, it doesn't. That's not a requirement, but 1 year should give you enough time to see that person when they're at their worst and when they're at their best, and then it gives you an idea of, okay, should I be with this person? 1 year. In 1 year, you'll see somebody's true colors come out, and even if you're not living together. That's just my personal opinion.
I would say it would come out when you're living together.
Oh yeah, for sure. But everybody can't live together.
Because
So
I mean, that was the most important aspect for me. Because you know, marriage is serious.
it's serious. Like you're gonna see people at their worst. You know, you can have a week straight of the person at their worst. Like marriage is serious. It's the real deal, man.
Yeah, and I
So
don't want
don't.
to be regretful and have
And
a divorce after
man,
marriage.
let me tell you something. The worst feeling in the world is to make the wrong decision, be married to somebody who becomes your enemy, and then you're living in the same house with a binding agreement, a marriage with your enemy. You know, that's a horrible feeling. I'm telling you from experience, brother. Please, just think about it. Anyway, but yeah, that's just my situation. So maybe you're in a whole different.
Okay.
What's his other question? Can we answer this one?
So
I
this
don't
is
really
what
understand.
people mean by front loading the application. Oh, so this was the proof of meeting, and yes, that's what people mean by front loading.
Oh, meaning put as many documents in
Yeah,
there as
put as
possible.
many as
Right.
as you can.
Yeah.
Even when you're like, oh, this is too much, then still put too much of
Right.
it.
Because they're not going to penalize you for having too much, but
Well,
they'll
they're
penalize
actu-
you for having too little.
Yeah, when
Right.
they have you have too much, you get approved quickly.
Right. They'll look at the first 10 documents and be like, oh, okay. You know.
Oh, okay, this is.
Oh, 4 pictures. Wow. You know, they went to this place, that place, and then, but yeah, that's what they mean by front loading. Okay, I think that's it, Coleman.
Yeah.
I hope that answers your question. And remember that stuff about the year. That's just my personal opinion based on my life. But everybody's different. You know, I've seen people be successful after knowing each other for a few weeks. Honestly, it's rare, but it happens. So I don't recommend it. All right, that's it. Let me get out of this. See you later, guys. Oops, sorry. Wait, no, go ahead. I didn't end it yet.
Stop.
Anything?